Chapter 1. Graphs in Economics. Introduction. Economics explains and analyzes various economic events occurring in the real world. An analysis of the statistics provided by the state, banks, and international organizations is very purposefully done in economics. Laypersons do not get interested in discussions and analysis of events done by experts, but their attention is drawn when important aspects of certain events and matters pertaining to economic changes are presented by way of pictures, and this way certain information which must be conveyed to people reaches them. Generally, two types of pictures are used to depict such information, and these are called 1. Diagrams and 2. Graphs. 1. Meaning of a diagram and a graph. Statistics classifies diagrams and graphs as different types of pictures which are used for distinct purposes. In economics also, these are used for different purposes. 1. Diagram. Diagram is a representation of observable data by way of a picture. Scales and measurements are used while drawing a diagram, though through knowledge of statistics is not required to draw. A diagram is drawn for data which are presented in discrete frequency distribution. In other words, a diagram is drawn for self-explanatory data, and laypersons do not require detailed knowledge of statistics in order to draw or understand a diagram. A diagram is used by advertising companies to draw attention, by the government to provide information, and by social organization to spread awareness. 2. Graph. A graph is also a representation of observable data by way of a picture. But a graph is drawn for statistical information which is not self-explanatory. A graph is drawn for data with continuous frequency distribution. In order to simplify such data, use of statistical tool is made. A graph is also drawn for other types of complex, that is, unclear statistical information. Through knowledge of statistics is essential to draw and understand a graph. A graph can extend over one or more of the four quadrants obtained by the intersection of x and y axis on a plane, and it cannot be drawn without taking appropriate measurements. A graph is generally drawn on a graph paper. Graphs are used more by researchers and educationists. Graphs are not used for conveying information to general public, that is, laypersons. Example of data with discrete, that is, discontinuous frequency distribution. Price in rupees 1. Demand in units frequency 100. Price in rupees 2. Demand in units frequency 80. Price in rupees 5. Demand in units frequency 70. Price in rupees 7. Demand in units frequency 20. Price in rupees 10. Demand in unit frequency 10. Example of data with continuous frequency distribution. Income class 10,000 to 20,000. Number of people frequency 500. Income class 20,000 to 30,000. Number of people frequency 300. Income class 30,000 to 40,000. Number of people frequency 100. Classes of marks 10 to 19. Number of student frequency 50. Classes of marks 20 to 29. Number of students frequency 30. Classes of marks 30 to 39. Number of students frequency 10. Importance of diagrams and graphs in economics. The importance of diagrams and graphs in economics can be stated as under. 1. The study of the subject of economics which is perceived as difficult and complicated is made easier by way of diagrams and less confusing, that is, clearer by way of graphs. 2. Traits of certain economic parameters over various years can be observed through a single diagram or graph. 3. Changes occurring in various sectors of the economic can also be easily understood. 4. A comparison can be easily drawn for the distribution of some economic parameters between groups or classes, regions, sectors, as well as time periods. 5. When many aspects of economic which are found apparently difficult are presented through a diagram or graph, the time and effort of the presenter in explaining and of the reader in understanding these aspects is saved. 6. Certain difficult principles of economics are easy to understand with the help of diagrams and graphs. For example, the concepts of expansion and contraction of demand and supply, price elasticity of demand and supply, etc. are made easier by way of pictures, and the trends of macroeconomic parameters can be clarified by way of time series graphs. For instance, the short-run and long-run irregular fluctuation in agriculture or the regular fluctuation in some industry are calculated by the method of time series, and their traits are presented by way of time series graphs. Aspects to be considered while drawing a diagram, that is, graph. While making diagrams and graphs, the following aspects must be considered, as the purpose of drawing pictures is to make an analysis simpler and more effective. 1. Choice of type of diagram or graph and their presentation. The right type of diagram or graph must be chosen to make a picture more effective. Certain data can be presented in a bar diagram as well as in a pie diagram. The user must make the right choice to make the picture more effective. 2. Clarity. A picture must look neat and clear. Different colors or shades may be used to denote the various components of a picture. 3. Scales and measures. To make a picture look appropriate in size, scales must be taken in accordance with the data. 4. Representation of axes. Both axes of a diagram or graph must be denoted or represented with appropriate details of what they represent. 5. Data table and source of data. Diagrams and graphs must be accompanied by the data table from which they are created, and by mentioning the source of data, the pictures become more reliable and authentic. 6. Method of calculating the data. When the picture is not drawn from self-explanatory data but is drawn from data simplified with statistical formula, it is appropriate to state the statistical method briefly. 2. Types of diagrams. There are many types of commonly used diagrams like pictogram, scatter diagram, line diagram, that is based on time periods, circle diagram, bar diagram, pie diagram. In this section, we shall understand about time-based line diagram, bar diagram and pie diagram. Time-based line diagram, that is curve. Pictures which show the shape or slope of a relationship in economics between two variables are often drawn. For example, a demand curve, a supply curve, etc. The independent variable is measured on x-axis and the dependent variable is measured on y-axis. Economics often uses line diagram representing time-based self-explanatory traits of a variable. For example, size of population in different time periods, rate of inflation in various years, literacy rate in various years, etc. Such diagrams can be termed as time-based line, that is curve diagrams. Example: percentage growth rate of India's population since 1951 will show in table. Bar diagram and types of bar diagram. A bar diagram shows distribution of the value of a variable in various components. For example, literacy rate in a country in various years, or literacy rate among females and males in a particular year. A vertical or horizontal bar is drawn for each value of the variable. A separate bar is drawn for each section or time period, and the height or length of the bar indicates the value for that section or time period. Thus, by comparing the height or length of the bars, a comparison can be made of the values of each section. Bar diagrams are generally of three types: A. Simple bar diagram, B. Clustered bar diagram, C. Divided bar diagram. Meaning and example of a simple bar diagram. A simple bar diagram represents values of only one variable over a base, say various regions or years, etc. It gives a visual effect of the difference in the value of the variable between regions, years, and so on. Example: bi-monthly sale of chocolate boxes in a shop will show in table. Clustered bar diagram. In this type of a graph, values of a common variable and over a common base are given for more than one section of related parameters. Hence, we get a cluster of bars for the same variable over various base values. For example, if the base is time period, the variable is literacy level, and its values are expressed for two categories, namely females and males stand for one time period. Two bars showing literacy level for females and males respectively are drawn in a cluster. To create proper visual effect and help comparison, each bar is colored differently and value which it represents are indicated on it. Example: bi-monthly sale of chocolate boxes of different sizes in a shop. Number of chocolates sold. Sales in units. January to February. Small size 30, medium size 15, large size 25. March to April. Small size 40, medium size 25, large size 50. May to June. Small size 50, medium size 25, large size 35. July to August. Small size 25, medium size 15, large size 10. September to October. Small size 40, medium size 20, large size 25. November to December. Small size 60, medium size 40, large size 20. Divided bar diagram. In such a diagram, every single value of the variable has subcategories. Hence, we get division in all the bars which represent a common variable and common base values. To create proper visual effect and help comparison, each division of the bar is colored differently and values which it represents are indicated. Example: bi-monthly sale of chocolate boxes by a salesperson in a rural and urban areas in a region. Sales in units. Sector: rural. January to February 30, March to April 35, May to June 40, July to August 20, September to October 35, November to December 40. Sector: urban. January to February 40, March to April 80, May to June 70, July to August 30, September to October 50, November to December 80. Sector: all India. January to February 70, March to April 115, May to June 110, July to August 50, September to October 85, November to December 120. Aspects to be considered while drawing a bar diagram. 1. The width of the bars does not represent any data and hence all bars should be of equal width. 2. The length of the respective bars should be proportional to the value of the variable which they represent. 3. The distance between all bars should be equal and there should also be maintained between the first bar and the origin. 4. All bars rest on the same line called the base, which usually coincides with the x-axis. In today's time, with the help of computer technology, horizontal bars are also drawn instead of vertical bars. 5. All vertical bars should be arranged from left to right in order of the data series. Therefore, the bar representing the first data in the series is drawn first near the point of origin. Pie diagram. Division of a circle in degrees represent a pie diagram. If an entire circle is considered as universal set of an entire data and the different components of this data are represented by dividing the circle in degrees proportional to the data, then a pie diagram is obtained. Pie diagram is drawn for the similar type of data for which a bar diagram can be drawn. Since an entire circle represents 360 degree, the entire data represents 360 degree and sections or divisions of the data are represented by dividing the circle in degrees proportional to each data section. In other words, a diagram which is drawn by representing subdivisions of an entire data by proportionate degrees in a circle is called a pie diagram. Formula for obtaining proportional degree for a component of data. Degree is equal to component value divided total value multiplied by 360. Example: percentage of pocket money spent by a student on various items. Aspects to be considered while drawing a pie diagram. 1. 360 degrees make a circle. 2. Degrees for subdivisions are calculated in proportion to the value of the variable for that division, and the sum total of the degrees of all such subdivisions must be 360 degree. 3. If relevant data is to be compared across regions or time periods, then two pie graphs can be drawn side by side. For a data set with a smaller total value, a circle with smaller dimensions is drawn, and for a data set with larger total value, a circle with bigger dimensions is drawn. 3. Types of graphs. Use of graphs is also frequently made in economics. Statistics classifies graphs as under: 1. Time series graphs. 2. Graphs for continuous frequency distribution. Histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, cumulative frequency polygon. 3. Logarithmic graphs. Time series graphs. In a trade cycle or in cycle of economic activities, short-term and long-term regular or irregular, that is erratic, changes are observed. The trends of such changes are obtained with the help of statistical tools, and when graphs are drawn taking these changes as variable and time period as base, then such graphs are called time series graphs. Use of technology in the study of economics. We are living in an age of digital technology, and we use this technology in our daily lives. We use digital technology to stay connected with friends and relatives, to watch movies, to listen to music, to navigate our way while driving on unknown roads, to order purchase goods, to pay our bills, to buy tickets, and for many more purposes. This technology is also used for education. Economics is an art and science which evolves every day as the behavior of human beings. Society and state changes with time. Hence, people in ordinary business of life as well as experts have to update themselves by the day, and technology helps to cope up. Different types of digital tools frequently used in the study of economics are explained below. Computer technology. A student of economics is aware of the word computer. We may have used a computer frequently in our school, and some of us might also be having a computer at home. Oh, today even smartphones perform several functions of a computer. We can use various programs of a computer technology in our study, like 1. Presentations. Complicated economic information or data and difficult theories of economics can be made easy by expressing in a PowerPoint presentation. For example, the entire topic of budget can be highlighted in 3 slides. One can give the meaning and 2 accounts in a budget and their meaning. Another can show the example of the context of a budget and how it is presented. The third slide can give the trends of budget in our country, or can give the actual budget of a government for a recent year. 2. Excel worksheets. Economics deals with lots of data. Researchers sometimes deal with data in thousands of observations. For instance, if we do a survey on number of items produced by small-scale industries in India, we may get thousands of observations. Such data must be entered in an Excel sheet, and this sheet can process the data for any formula at only one click. For example, it can give us sum total, averages, correlations, and much more. Excel sheets are almost an important tool for processing data in economics. We can also obtain various figures for the data in an Excel sheet. 3. Diagrams and graphs. There are several programs in a computer which helps us to draw diagrams and graphs which we frequently use in economics. There are simple drawing tools in a Word file which can be used to draw simple freehand figures like a simple downward sloping or upward sloping demand or supply curve. Excel sheet plots almost all types of diagrams and graphs for the data which we enter in the worksheet. We must only know the formula for doing so and give the relevant command. 4. Storage tools. We use plenty of study material in economics. Such material becomes useful in higher studies, in economics or for research. We need space and carefulness to preserve such material in the form of physical notebooks or books. There is a fear of losing such material owing to moisture, pests, etc. But we can preserve all such material in a computer. Besides, it can be carried anywhere by transferring it in a hard disk or pen drive. By transferring it in email, Dropbox, Google Drive, DigiLocker, etc. we can access this material and read it in any part of the world. Thus, study materials can be preserved with the help of computer technology. 5. Other tools. Statistical programs like SPSS, Shazam, eViews, SAYS, etc. are developed to do almost all types of data processing for lakhs of observation in minutes by entering the right formula. Research institute by such programs. These are very expensive. However, certain software like Gretel, PSPP, R, etc. can be obtained free of cost through the internet. Nowadays, all these functions of a computer are also available on smartphones and tablets. Caution in using computer technology. Computer is an aid in studying and it is not a study material by itself. It helps to make the process of studying easier and faster, but it does not replace the process of studying. If we do not use the right commands in a computer, we may end up losing our material. We may also end up incorrect graphs and data processing if we do not know the correct formula and commands. Internet technology. Internet is another facility created by digital technology which all of us have used from time to time. The use of internet in economics can be summarized in the following chart. Purpose. 1. Tutorials. Manner in which internet helps. Some educational websites put PowerPoint presentation and study material along with worksheets on the open access link. We can view such presentations as tutorials. 2. Active learning. Some videos of lectures by experts are put on open access sites by some educational institutions. Some institution creates live lectures available to students. We can register on these sites and we can listen to a lecture on the net like we do in our classroom. Example, lectures by experts are available in economics and other subjects. 3. Reading material. Numerous books are available online free of cost for reading. Some good research articles, copies of journals, etc. are also available for reading. Some articles, books, and journals can be accessed by paying some annual fee on those websites. These materials are called e-books, e-journals, etc. 4. Information. By merely searching, we can get information on universities offering degrees in economics or any other information about any subject. 5. Miscellaneous. We can get quotes by economists, names of reference books, etc. also on internet by using the search engine. 6. Data. Economics use a lot of secondary data. For instance, we use data on budget of a government, banking, agricultural production, value of exports and imports, poverty, employment, industrial production, and many others. This data can be accessed from authentic websites. For example, authentic site for data on banking in India is the official website of Reserve Bank of India. For exports and imports is the website of Ministry of Commerce and Industries of Government of India. Budget related information from Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and so on. Some organizations and agencies functioning at national and international levels also collect, publish, as well as put data on websites. For example, CSO, NSSO, WHO, UNO, CMIE, ILO, IMF, World Bank, and so on. That is, by authentic data is mean data which is published by recognized research institution after doing comprehensive research. Caution in using internet for education. Like computer, internet is also only a tool. It cannot replace books and teachers or our own thinking and reasoning. A lot of substandard material, irrelative information, misleading information, plagiarized articles are found on internet. We must avoid using those. Readers must have the wisdom of identifying the authentic material on internet. Only authentic website must be referred to, otherwise we may end up getting misled. Data CDs, that is compact disc. Some authorities and agencies like laboratories, research centers, government agencies, etc. involved in collection and publication of information and data pertaining to macroeconomic indicators put huge data content in compact disc and sell those for researchers and educational institutions. Such CDs are used by educational institution, research institution, etc. for their studies. Some such data CDs frequently used in economics are CD of National Income Accounts of India, CD of Census of India, CD of Annual Survey of Industries in India, CD of NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Organization, CD of data pertaining to any ministry in India which are provided by the statistical department of respective ministers. Some agencies like CMIE, that is Center of Monitoring Indian Economy, also create data software which can be purchased only by research institutes and corporations, as these are very expensive. Difficulty in using data CDs. Since the data CDs and software contain a huge size of data, this becomes complicated to use. There are several seeds in a CD and one must have the knowledge regarding searching the relevant data sheet and get the relevant data.